Nice that you looking at. Cats. A movie in which Taylor Swift has a role. Cats is a 2019 musical fantasy film based on the 1981 West End musical Cats by Andrew Lloyd Webber, which in turn was based on the 1939 poetry collection Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot, which the film is also based on, inspired by. The film was directed by Tom Hooper. In his second feature musical following Les Miserables, 2012, from a screenplay by Lee Hall and Hooper. It stars James Corden, Judi Dench, Jason Derulo, Idris Elba, Jennifer Hudson, Ian McKellen, Taylor Swift, Rebel Wilson and Francesca Hayward. The film marked the feature film debut for both Derulo and Hayward. Filming took place from December 2018 to April 2019. It premiered at Alice Tully Hall in New York City on the 16th of December 2019, and went into general release in the United Kingdom and the United States on the 20th of December. Cats grossed $75.5 million worldwide against a production budget of $80–100 million, resulting in an estimated loss of $71 million after ancillary costs, and was considered a box office disappointment at the time. The film received generally negative reviews from critics and is considered to be one of the worst films ever made. Victoria, a young white cat, is abandoned by her owner in the streets of London in the middle of the night. Witnessing this, a group of alley cats introduce themselves to her as the Jellicles. Mr. Mistopheles, Munkustrap, Cassandra, and Demeter take Victoria under their wing, and show her the world of the Jellicles as they prepare for the Jellicle Ball, an annual ceremony where cats must compete to be chosen to go to the Heaviside layer and be granted a new life. Most of the Jellicle Ball competitors are introduced and sing about themselves. Jenny Dots, a domestic tabby who sleeps during the day and by night boosts the productivity of mice and roaches. The Rum Tum Tugger, an extravagant yet indecisive cat who riles up the others. Bustopher Jones, a bourgeois cat who boasts about his weight and shares food scraps from the garbage. Skimbleshanks, a tidy ginger cat who tap dances and supervises the operation of a train. And Gus, an aged theatrical cat who has played some of the biggest roles in history. Victoria also happens to meet the mischievous twins, Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer, who enjoy causing trouble and messing with things in the house of their human family. They convince Victoria to join in the fun, but leave her tangled up in some necklaces when the family dog is alerted to their presence. Luckily, Mr. Mistopheles comes to rescue Victoria, distracting the dog and escaping with her. They return to the group just in time for the arrival of the tribe's wise and beloved matriarch, Old Deuteronomy. The Jellicle Ball commences inside the abandoned Egyptian theater. Victoria dances a ballet solo in the moonlight but is distracted by Cassandra harassing Grisabella, a former glamour cat who was banished from the tribe for, among other things, her past allegiance with Macavity, a notorious criminal and con artist capable of teleportation. Victoria relates to Grisabella's feelings of abandonment as Grisabella slinks away into the streets. Old Deuteronomy witnesses their quiet camaraderie and assures Victoria that she can become a Jellicle herself in time. A seductive femme fatale named Bomba Lorena interrupts the ball, distracting the Jellicles present with a song and dance number praising Macavity and simultaneously incapacitating them with catnip. When Macavity arrives and demands to be made the Jellicle choice, Old Deuteronomy deems him unworthy and is subsequently kidnapped and placed with most of the other contestants that he has kidnapped. As the Jellicles recuperate, distraught over their leader's disappearance, Victoria suggests that Mr. Mistopheles use his powers to conjure Old Deuteronomy back. He tries several times, eventually making Old Deuteronomy reappear. The cats rejoice and praise Mr. Mistopheles, and he and Victoria dance together. Meanwhile, a thwarted Macavity and Bombalurina teleport away from his victims, who begin to free themselves via Genianidot's costume change. Macavity leaves his lackey, Growltiger, to walk the plank defenseless against the emancipated cats. Grisabella returns to the Egyptian theatre. Victoria vouches for her and urges her to sing her true feelings. Grisabella sings a passionate ballad about her mistakes, her former glory, and her beauty, sentiments that touch the hearts of the Jellicles. Old Deuteronomy names Grisabella the Jellicle choice and sends her off to the Heaviside layer in a chandelier, repaired by Mr. Mistopheles' magic to float like a hot air balloon. Macavity, in one last attempt to reach the Heaviside layer, leaps onto a rope from the chandelier, but falls onto Nelson's column. The Jellicles, reunited with their kidnapped brethren and perched on a lion statue, watch Grisabella ascend as the morning sun appears above the horizon. After the congregation disperses, Old Deuteronomy welcomes Victoria to the tribe. An animated film adaptation based on the musical was initially planned by Amblimation in the 1990s, but was abandoned with the studio's closure. In December 2013, Andrew Lloyd Webber, creator and composer of the musical stage production Cats, teased that Universal Pictures, which had purchased the film rights to Cats many years earlier, was putting the project into active development. In February 2016, it was reported that Tom Hooper was in negotiations to direct the film, and was considering actresses, including Suki Waterhouse, to star. In May 2016, Hooper was confirmed as director. In January 2018, Hooper and Working Title began officially casting for the film. While looking into the technical aspect of whether the film would be entirely live action or computer-generated, with Lloyd Webber announcing he would be writing a new song for the film adaptation. On the 24th of October 2019, it was announced that the new song was titled "Beautiful Ghosts," written by Lloyd Webber and Taylor Swift. The song was sung by Francesca Hayward, followed later in a reprise by Judi Dench, with a credits version sung by Swift. The version sung by Swift was released on the 15th of November 2019. In June 2018, there were reports that Anne Hathaway was considered for a role in the film, but she declined due to a scheduling conflict. Hugh Jackman was also offered a role by Hooper but turned it down. In July 2018, Jennifer Hudson, Taylor Swift, James Corden, and Ian McKellen joined the cast. Swift had previously tested for the role of Eponine in Tom Hooper's Les Miserables, but was given the part of Bombalurina without an audition. In September 2018, Laurie Davidson and Met Towley were cast, with Steven Spielberg announced to be executive producing. In October 2018, Idris Elba and Judi Dench joined the cast of the film. Dench was cast in the original stage musical, but had been forced to pull out due to a torn Achilles tendon. Lloyd Webber and Hooper made Old Deuteronomy a female cat and offered her the role in November 2018. Ballet dancers Francesca Hayward and Stephen McRae, and Rebel Wilson, Jason Derulo and Robert Fairchild joined the cast of the film, with rehearsals commencing at Leavesden Studios in Hertfordshire, England. Andy Blankenbuehler choreographed the film. After Wayne McGregor was forced to back out due to scheduling conflicts, Blankenbuehler also choreographed the stage musical's 2016 Broadway revival. In December 2018, Les Twins and Eric Underwood joined the cast. Principal photography began on the 12th of December 2018 and wrapped on the 2nd of April 2019. Swift said that the cast attended Cat School, in which We would literally do hours on end of barefoot crawling on the floor, hissing at each other. We learned about cat instincts and the way they carry themselves and the way that they process information, the way they see the world, the way they move. Music for the film was composed by Andrew Lloyd Webber with contributions from producer Greg Wells, who was initially brought in after production in MID 2019. The recordings were created partly at Abbey Road Studios with contributions from the London Symphony Orchestra. Wells also played a number of instruments on the music himself, including the drums, pipe organ, bass guitar and Abbey Road's fabled Mrs. Mills piano, used in Beatles songs such as Penny Lane and With a Little Help from My Friends. Highlights edition of the soundtrack with a running time of 59 minutes was released on the 20th of December 2019 by Polydor Records and in the US by Republic Records. The song, Beautiful Ghosts, by Taylor Swift, a single from the soundtrack album, was released on the 15th of November 2019, less than 2 months before the film was scheduled to be released in theaters. Production was still ongoing for its music. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.